All right, welcome to State Farm College Football. Today, I'm Adam Zucker alongside Christian Fourier, the two-time Super Bowl champ, and our man Brian Jones. Coming up next, Game 2 of our doubleheader, Kentucky and number 7 Georgia between the hedges. Nick Chubb looking for a better day. Oh, yeah, and the Wildcats, they're trying to get their 8th win. The Bulldogs, of course, hoping to keep their playoff chances alive. They're already heading to Atlanta for the SEC title game. In the game you just saw, Mississippi State getting the win 28-21 over an Arkansas team that led by a touchdown into the fourth quarter. And a lot of thoughts about what happened on 4th down for the Hogs late in that one.
Terrible choice, in my opinion. Didn't like the fact that he went for it. 4th and 3. Fourth and 3, yeah, on your own 45-yard line. First of all, the play selection was terrible. You run a play-action pass, and they're just sitting there waiting for it. And then you're 1 first down away from putting Mississippi State in field goal position. I would have taken my chances, punt at the ball, play the law of averages, and hope that I put this into overtime.
You got a couple timeouts, and there's 3 minutes left on the clock. I'm with you. I'm going to punt that ball in that situation and live for another series. And they chose not to do that, and that's why Arkansas sits in that situation where they are, where they're woeful in conference play and their overall record is upside down.
And a lot of fans wanted to make a change other than the AD, which they already did earlier this week. A tough spot there for Brett Bielema. All right, let's get you caught up on all the other action going on from around the country. Some national title contenders in some tight spots. And number 3, Miami, BJ, back to be in the Cardiac Canes after Virginia takes a 28-14 lead.
That's right. Everyone was saying they played down to their competition. Well, they were just lying down early as Bankert hits Daniel Ham for a 26-yard score. And then break out the turnover change. Jaquan Johnson, pick 6 off of Bankert. There it is. That's the whole rave around the country. That may be the best turnover celebration or props there is in college football. Malik Rozier, he's so smooth, so patient. We saw that last week versus Notre Dame.
They scored the final 30 points in that game. Virginia had 2 14-point leads. No big leads for Wisconsin until the game's just about out of reach. And the punt wasn't within reach, but now it is.
Yeah, nobody wanted to touch it. It was like it was on fire. Get away from it. But nice job by Nick Nelson returning this 50 yards for the touchdown. You knew points were going to be hard. No, this young guy. It'll be okay, I promise you. No, not really. Because here comes Kendrick Pryor on the end around. Remember last week had the exact same play, hitting the edges, getting to the perimeter, 32 yards for the touchdown.
I'll tell you what, that expression by the little kid was the one that a lot of Michigan fans were feeling, thinking that they might play spoiler here down the stretch against an undefeated Badgers team. Ohio State, of course, the Michigan opponent next week. Wisconsin about to wrap this up. They've continued to face doubts, but they are such a steady and gritty team.
And put me in the doubt category, but I just thought Michigan would have enough defensively to hold up, and they did as long as they could. Nothing from the Michigan Wolverines offensively. Of course, Brandon Peters, the quarterback, was knocked out of this ball game. You bring back in John O'Corn. But you and I were sitting here just perplexed. Why are you play-actioning when there's, I don't even know if that's a word. You can't run the rock.
We're gonna make
Who's going to believe you can run the ball? No one's going to fall for that. Get in 4 wides. Try to spread them out and get your top players in space.
Nobody respects Michigan's offense because they just can't do it. They haven't been able to throw the football down the field. But to Wisconsin, I feel like we have to give them at least a little bit of respect. And if Alex Hornibrook could actually hear what we were saying during the game, I'm sorry, okay? I was just kidding. But for every bad thing he does, he apologizes for it and he makes it right. And you talk about this Wisconsin team. They just, regardless of the situation, they never let go of the rope. Doesn't matter if it's the first quarter to the fourth. They just keep churning.
Hornibrook, it just reminds me of Dumb and Dumber. Every time I think you could possibly do something, you redeem yourself.
They keep doing it, and they're sniffing that top 4 right now. Of course, we're getting set for Kentucky and Georgia. We'll be back in 30 seconds to preview Game 2 of our SEC on CBS doubleheader. Already feels like we've had an entire day together. Be right back. All right, approaching 10 minutes to kickoff between Kentucky and Georgia. A lot on the line, not just for Georgia. The Wildcats trying to get their first winning season in conference play since 1977. Of course, the Dogs guys trying to stay on point for a run at the college football playoff. They know they've got the East, BJ.
Yeah, they definitely have the East, and they have to come out and get that bad taste out of their mouth from last weekend. They were out physical, and they have said that themselves, and so you look for them to come out and try to own the line of scrimmage, unlike last week.
Yeah, you look at what Georgia's able to do. Not competitive last week, but Kentucky, 7 straight losses to Georgia. But Mark Stoops maybe having one of his better teams. Can they go on the road and get this thing done? I think they're up against it, but it's a possibility they could really get this game together.
Kentucky coming off their largest margin of victory in an SEC game in over a decade. Of course, Georgia now, after being #1 for a couple weeks, trying to bounce back from their first loss of the season, and it was a big margin at Auburn. Kirby Smart in that position to get his team focused again. Caught up with Allie LaForce moments ago.
Coach, no team, no program ever wants to experience a loss, but those can be teachable moments. What did this football team learn from the loss to Auburn last week, and how did it make you better potentially?
Well, I think it gives everybody a wake-up call in the whole organization. It's a discipline thing, doing what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, and that's what they've done all week, and now they get to go out and do it for a great senior class at their last home game.
Speaking of the seniors, it was the core of this senior class that decided that they were going to give it another shot. They weren't going to go to the NFL. They were going to stay because they believed in you. How emotional will it be to see them take the field for the final time here in Georgia?
It'll be very emotional for me, as I know it will for them. So many of their families I've grown close to in the last 2 years. They've done so much for this program in the future. They've set a standard, and I thank them for that, and I want the rest of the team to thank them by the way they play.
What will you tell them before the game?
I love them because I do, and they've been big for us.
That's perfect. Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's a sweet thing. Senior day around the country. And, yeah, I mean, you can see now from some of the blowouts we're about to show you, Clemson blew out Citadel, and they stormed the field afterward to give hugs out. And Alabama all over Mercer, 56-0. Of course, Alabama and Auburn, BJ, the Iron Bowl tune-up going on today.
Oh, yeah. You want to get out of these ball games unscathed, come out, stay focused, and ideally not have to play your starters a lot.
And, of course, we'll have the Iron Bowl on CBS next Saturday. Clemson clinching its 7th consecutive 10-win season, 61-3. over the Citadel. Final thoughts, Christian, as we get set for Kentucky and Georgia to kick off.
If you're Kentucky, commit to stopping the run. There's Sonny Michel right there. Focus in on that. Make Jake Fromm beat you.
If you're Georgia, right out the gate like you did last week, just sustain it.
All right, we will see you guys back here at halftime. Game time for Kentucky and #7 Georgia from Athens is next on CBS.
The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by AT&T, Allstate, Outback Steakhouse, and by Microsoft Surface.